Hey, this is Ariana from El Paso, Texas, and you're listening to WTK Encore.
Hey guys, how is it going? It is good to be back after we took a slight hiatus from Hurricane Irma and all the nonsense and madness that brought along. But we are back, and this is a special episode for multiple reasons. First being, you have the absolute pleasure of only hearing yours truly, Mr. Danny Duncan, for this podcast. Normally what we do is have Travis and I sit down together, but he is right now doing a charity show. And instead of like us trying to squeeze that and this into the day, I said, look, I'll take care of the podcast. You go do that charity show. And I think everybody's going to be happy all around. So if you can bear with just my voice, I would appreciate it. Thank you. But even more importantly, why this is so special is I just had my baby boy. Well, I didn't just have him, but it was 3 weeks ago. And I'm pretty sure this is the first podcast with him. Is that true? I believe the last one we did was the last one I had, where I wasn't a father quite yet. And this is the first one where I am. And I have learned so much, and I feel like I'm a completely different person. I'll just be honest. It's insane, the night and day sort of outlook and perspective on life. Even though you're prepared for it and you see it coming and you hear everybody talk about it, it's just crazy, the difference it makes in your life when you have a child. But it's a little funny. As an example of what I mean by that, right now I'm sitting inside of my closet with the door closed. So there's one room that has a bathroom attached to it, and attached to that bathroom is a closet. So I have the door shut to that room, the door shut to the bathroom, and the door shut to that closet because my little man likes to sing. Maybe he's not singing to you guys yet, but man, he can hit those notes. But he's not a bad baby or anything like that. He's not like a super crier, but he's just a baby's a baby. He's gonna cry here and there. And most nights have been pretty easy and pretty awesome. We got so lucky that he is as healthy as he is. But babies are babies and parenthood is parenthood. A couple nights ago, 3 or 4 nights ago, we had one of those. Just one of those nights where like we kind of had to both look at each other like, woo-sa, like we got this. Because all you do naturally, is when a baby's crying, you cover maybe 4 or 5 of the things that is making him cry, and that'll solve 98% of the problems that the baby's having. You just change his diaper, feed him, swaddle him. We give him a pacifier. That's our route. Some people don't do that, but we just do that. Or something else like that. Usually it's something really easy to fix, but this 3 nights ago, there was nothing that we could do. I mean, we tried everything over and over and over again, and he was just crying even louder. And when you get to that point, it's tough. It just breaks your heart. It's not that you're upset or annoyed with the baby. It's that you're doing everything you can to help a situation, and nothing's working. You just feel so helpless. So that's like one of those times where, you just kind of have to like get it together, realize that, crying babies don't even really realize that they're doing it. It's not like he's going to remember that, you remember that one time I was crying so much and you guys couldn't figure it out. Babies, they don't know what they're doing. But it turns out that he's got a little bit of acid reflux, which is kind of like it's common. It's the baby's just chugging milk over and over and over all day. And if you don't burp him right, or you don't, get him the right sort of like position to feed him in, it gets tough. So we took him to the doctor. It was sort of a scare. The looks on our faces had to have been priceless, just zombies that didn't get any sleep from the night before. But we got him on some medicine, and we have some different sort of ways of feeding him, techniques that work a lot better. And so far, it's been amazing. So sorry to bore you with the baby talk if you're not interested in that stuff, but that's my whole life. Sorry. What else has been going on? We just got back from the Auburn show, which was incredible. I love playing the big SEC schools. SEC is the Southeastern Conference of colleges here in the States, and those schools are always real fun. They all kind of hate each other, what have you. But they all have the same kind of vibe. Like all the schools in Pennsylvania and like the New Jersey and up there in the New England area, they kind of look the same. But like all the schools down here, they all have the same kind of vibe to them, and they're fun in their own way. So we had a blast there. We played with Mr. Two Chains, Mr. Chains, and he was he put on a show that only he could put on, mostly because he broke his leg, and he had this giant pink tired wheelchair, pink wheeled. I don't know. It was like, picture the tires on a Huffy bike, that you'd probably see on a girl's bike. And these were the tires that were on his wheelchair, but then it was like gold blinged out. It had the word trap written on the back. And then it's not like he just sat out there. Like I think Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, when he broke his leg, he had a throne that he was on, and he just kind of sat on this throne and played the show. Two Chainz she looked like a nurse, and she was wearing like a nurse outfit or like a maid outfit that I don't think real maids or real nurses would wear. I'll let you interpret that on your own. But she was just pushing him around like side to side, but like doing it with her own little like sway. She was clearly a dancer, like very clearly an incredible dancer. And her job was just to kind of push Two Chainz to one side of the stage, lock the wheelchair, dance around, then unlock the wheelchair and sort of like dance, walk, push him to the other side of the stage, lock the wheelchair, dance around. It was so thoroughly entertaining with, considering everything that he had to sort of go through to put on the show. But Auburn in general it was an incredible school. The crowd was there, I would say, predominantly to see Two Chainz. He was the headliner. That's totally understandable. But you kind of see a hip hop crowd. The difference between like a hip hop crowd and like somebody who's there to see a rock show is you would ask people to like throw their hands up and jump around. And to people who go to rock shows often, I mean, Trav barely gets a chance to finish the sentence and people are already jumping around and going nuts. The looks on the faces of people who normally go to hip hop shows just kind of like sort of like, wait, huh? What? Just sort of, wait, you want us to crowd surf? Hold on. And then slowly, as the songs would build up, they would just open up and go nuts. And I don't know, in some way, it was like more rewarding to see these people start out like, like with their arms crossed, like low brows, just kind of like, what is this? I'm here for Two Chainz. And then boom, all of a sudden they're crowd surfing, going nuts. It was a fun show. I vlogged it, threw it up on the vlog so you guys can see a little behind the scenes of everything that was going on there. But yeah. That's pretty much been my life. Either no sleep because of long nights and early flights with the Kings, or just doing my thing with little baby Carter. And Valentina has been absolutely incredible throughout the whole thing. She takes the bulk of the work, so much to the point where I have to like stop her and be like, please let me get this. You need sleep. She puts sleep on the back burner. So much to the point where like she doesn't even realize that she's incredibly sleep deprived and she's not helping she's not helping anybody at that point. So I mean that in the best way, in the most sincere compliment. She is absolutely crushing motherhood. She was made for it, and I'm just so stoked. I mean, I can't say it enough, like how lucky we got to have a healthy little baby boy, aside from, just some. They said it might be acid reflux at this phase. We don't know. It's something that's so minute and easily fixed. All we did was we just got one of those. There's different size nipples for bottles that babies feed off of. We just got him one that was meant for smaller babies, and it feeds slower, and that pretty much solves the problem. That's it. I mean, it's not like he's on some, orange bottle medication at this point. It's just like it's just trying different techniques, learning your baby as he just grows and figures out the world. But yeah. That's something that is obviously a big part of my life. And I owe an apology to every parent or mom or dad out there that I've kind of given a second glance of confusion for wearing those like baby backpacks. You've seen them before. It's like a picture when people wear their backpacks like on the front instead of like on their back. Like you see it, it was like a big middle school trend when I was in middle school. But those things that carry babies, they are absolute lifesavers. They are. We slept on ours for a little bit. And I mean that in the sense that we didn't really pull it out of the package yet. We just kind of thought we'll wait for that when we go on big outings. Mainly it should be just packed up. No, that is huge. After you feed him, we're supposed to kind of keep him upright for a half an hour. And after we do that, we just throw him in this little harness that keeps him upright, and he just burps. Possibly the burpiest baby of all time. We're not sure. But he just burps once every 2 minutes for 20 minutes, and then falls asleep. To whereas before we would lay him down and he couldn't quite get the burps out. It's kind of hilarious. I just have this burping baby on my harness, and it's funny. He's even more hilarious looking than Carlos in the movie The Hangover. He brings so much entertainment under this roof, and it's amazing. But yeah, I'll tell you that. I would say don't sleep on the harnesses, even though you might think it's just such a dad thing. You might as well get a fanny pack and apply sunscreen to just your nose. It's an essential tool. They should hand you one at the hospital. After you give birth, they should give you the birth certificate, the paperwork, and then one of those carriers, because I think it's as essential as a car seat. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are at right now. What do we got here? Oh, the nursery. A lot of you guys are asking me about the nursery for Carter. We intended to do that before the birth, obviously, and show you guys, what we were going to have as his room before he got home. But we got lucky where there was a piece that we really wanted and it wasn't quite working out. And then right at the last minute, and I mean 3 or 4 days before Carter was born, this amazing company hit us back. They're like, we'd absolutely love to, work with you on this because it's a custom piece. And we got this. Now, you guys are probably thinking it's something crazy, like an 8-foot dinosaur that's hand built. No, it's a piece of furniture, but it is wacky in its own way. I had to convince Valentino about it. And it's coming this week. You guys are going to see what we had long discussions about. I had to convince her to put this in the nursery, and she has since come around and absolutely loves it. So the nursery video is coming this week. You're going to see a lot of the stuff that you guys gave us. But just as a disclaimer, the room is only so big, and we don't have everything that has been sent to us over the last 9 months in the room right now. There is an extra closet that has all this stuff that you guys have sent, and we can't thank you enough. Nothing has gone to waste, but we did kind of keep the room basically what needed to be in there is in there. And then we've got everything kind of tucked away in boxes, and you'll see in the video. It's just, we couldn't be, more grateful for everything that you guys sent us. And I think you're going to be proud of what we made of it all and what we put together. So this will be the season finale of the podcast, just to give you guys a heads up. We're going to try and break it up into seasons. And I wish we could have done a little bit more of a banger. We were intending to do a big, giant group band podcast at Auburn, but that got busier and more hectic than it needed to be. Delta lost our luggage. We had just a tiny locker room. Trav's pilot was in there. Now, that sounds it's not what you think, but it kind of is what you think. As you guys know, Jenny is about ready to pop, as they say. She is so close to giving birth to baby number 2. I am incredibly excited for them. But Travis didn't know if coming to the Auburn show was such a smart idea because, if her water were to break, he's got maybe a couple hours to be there in time to be a part of it all. So I don't know how he does it. Trav has a way with this sort of thing. He worked out something where a family friend owned a single engine Cessna that was going to be at the Orlando Executive Airport. And not only that, the Auburn University has its own executive airport, and by executive, that's where tinier, either private jets or the charters or the single engines, where the smaller planes land. And there's one of those attached to Auburn University, and they granted permission to Trav to land at that airport, have it on standby. I mean, essentially everything except the propeller's already going. Like, he flew from the Orlando Executive Airport, landed at Auburn. It was at the ready. The pilot of the plane, which is a family friend of, I believe, Jenny's family, was just hanging out in our green room, like just telling stories about this and that. And, of course, we ask all the usual questions about planes and like what's something that like, people don't know about and this and that. And always a fun conversation with pilots like that. But Trav had this, sort of in the holster where if Jenny were to phone him in the middle of the show and say, my water just broke, I'm feeling contractions, this is it. Travis could have gotten on the plane and back to Orlando. I think it was within just over 2 hours. And I commend him for being able to put that together. It was incredible. Luckily, he didn't have to use it. And it looks like he's going to be available and ready if and when the time comes for that. But I got to hand it to him. That was one of the cooler things that he could put together to make sure that we could put the show on for Auburn. Because otherwise, the alternative would have been interesting and fun, and I kind of wanted to see it. Coley knows how to take the lead. As you know, Coley is the most talented member of the band, has a phenomenal voice, and he was going to kind of just take the lead and sort of be the lead singer, play the lead guitar part, stand in the center. And I don't know. I think it would have been a really fun show only because it's never been done. We've never seen it before. But luckily we had the whole band there, and it was a good thing because Auburn really showed up and we gave them a show. So a couple things worth mentioning. The self-titled Nostalgia album. If you guys are sleeping on that, it is one that you want to check out. They're just sort of remixes, like rewritten up modern versions of the self-titled album as sort of like a tip of the hat for the 10-year anniversary. And they are definitely worth checking out. They're on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you guys buy songs. It's I really love them. Coley was actually a big part of the remixes and doing a lot of the studio work on that. So go check it out. Let them know how you guys feel about it. Also, in November coming up, We the Kings will be going to Mexico, but I put an asterisk next to that because that will be just Travis and Coley. There was only so much budget. We're going with Simple Plan. Great guys, amazing dudes. We played a European tour with them, and they had a spot open for some Mexican dates, and Travis and Coley were more than willing to go based on sort of like what we could work out there. You don't want to go lose like $100,000 on a tour. So it just made more sense for them to go play acoustic. I promise you it's going to be the same entertainment show. It's essentially the two most talented members of the band as is. So go check it out. Go see them. Tickets are available at WeTheKingsMusic.com. And go say hi to those guys. I think it's the first time We the Kings has played any kind of show in Mexico, which is regrettable. I wish booking agents and somebody could have put that together earlier, but it is what it is, and those things sort of have to come along. But it's finally here. Mexican dates are here, and we got a new album in the works. There's some songs that you guys will absolutely love. They're so fun, and I don't know. I just wish I could tell you. I wish I could just show you all of them, but I can't. You should be excited for that. Check out the Nostalgia album. Get your tickets for We the Kings in Mexico. And I think that's going to do it for me. There's no AC in this closet. I'm starting to sweat. So from here, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Until next season, I will sign off for Hunter, Trav, Coley, and Charles. We will see you guys then. See you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or wherever you get your podcast. If you like what you heard, leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and please be sure to tell your friends. We the Kings is Hunter Thompson, Coley O'Toole, Danny Duncan, Charles Trippy, and Travis Clark. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We the Kings, and check out our website at WeTheKingsMusic.com. WTK Encore is a proud member of Uncover Studios. You can follow Uncover on Twitter and Instagram at Uncover Studios for previews and behind-the-scenes looks at new episodes. Dave Kiney and Caroline Valentino are our executive producers. Adam Raymunda produced and scored this episode. Production assistance by James DiFrancesco. And a big thanks to you, our fans.
Hey everyone, this is Adam, one of the producers from Uncover Studios. Before we let you go, I wanted to tell you that you could be featured at the start of a WTK Encore episode if you send a quick voice memo over to voices@wtkencore.com. It's super easy. All you have to do is introduce yourself with your first name, hometown, and a little personal message if you want. Then intro the show with something like, "You're listening to WTK Encore." We're looking forward to hearing your voices. Again, send them our way to voices@wtkencore.com. Thanks!